Hello everyone and welcome to O-Level Biology. The topic is ecology, and in today's lesson we shall look at the definition for ecology. We shall also look at some key terms in ecology that we need to define, and then we shall look at the biotic and abiotic factors. So welcome, and I want to invite you to like my YouTube page for more explanations of different biology topics. So today we want to introduce to you ecology. What is ecology? Well, you must have come across this. Ecology is the study of organisms in relation to their environment. So in this topic we are looking at organisms, living things, and how they affect the environment, or how the environment affects them. So the scientific study of such interactions is what we are terming ecology. I think that is interesting. So we are going to define the key terms that are used in ecology. There are a number of terms that we are going to define, so that as we continue with the topic, you will be able to understand these terms in case we use them. To begin with, we have an environment. And this one refers to the surrounding of an organism that influences its life. For example, we have a tadpole. The young one of the frog or the toad is called a tadpole. It lives in water. So that water there, where that tadpole lives, is its environment. It's where it gets everything that it needs for survival. Well, that's great. Then we also have a biosphere. A biosphere is simply part of the galaxy of the universe, or part of the earth and its atmosphere that is occupied by living things, or part of the galaxy of the universe where life exists. It simply means an area on earth that has the best conditions for life. So that one is called a biosphere. Then we have a habitat. This is simply a place where an organism lives. In the habitat, an organism obtains shelter and nourishment and is able to reproduce there. For example, we have the common parasites called the tapeworms, the Tinea solium or Tinea saginata. So those ones live inside the intestines of mammals, either pigs or cows or man. So inside the intestines of these animals are the habitats for the tapeworms. We looked at the tadpole earlier. The water where the tadpole lives is also the habitat where it lives. So that is the habitat. We can see there terrestrial habitat, a very beautiful terrestrial habitat for the elephants there. And then we also have an aquatic habitat in the water. You can see which organisms can you identify there? Well, I imagine you can identify the fish, you can see the sponges and the coral reefs and some green algae. So that is the habitat for those organisms. It is in water. Let's proceed with our terms. Population. This is a total number of organisms of the same species living in a particular place at a given time. The total number of organisms of the same species living in a particular place at a given what? Time. That is the population. For example, what is the population of Uganda today? Well, they say about 41 or 42 million people. So that is the population of people in Uganda in this time, in a given time. Usually for human beings, they carry out census every after 10 years. So currently the population stands at about 40 to 42 million people. Okay. We have ecological niche. This refers to a particular place an organism occupies within a habitat and the role it plays there. So this captures the specific place an organism lives within a habitat, but also it captures the role that organism plays in that particular habitat. For example, rats live in the bush, but they also burrow in the bush. That is the role they play. So an organism, together with all its activities, is what we shall call the niche. And then we have another term there, a community. You must have heard these terms spoken by the people all over. Community. So for this particular topic, we shall say the community is a collection of different populations living and interacting with non-living components. It is therefore a total of all organisms in an area. So a community involves many organisms of different species interacting with their non-living environment. So that one is called a community. For example, you can have a school community. It involves the students, the teachers, those are human beings, but also involves the plants which are there, and insects and other organisms that may be around the school compound. That one becomes a school community. So we have other terms like ecology. This is a study of only one species of organisms in relation to its environment. For example, you can choose to study about the frog and how it relates with the environment. So you'll be doing ecology. So you can see some beautiful members of the giraffe population there. We said, do you know what a population is? You remember? We said a population is the total number of organisms of the same species living in an area at a given period of time. So those ones looking at you are members of a bigger population of the giraffes in that game park. And then those ones are members of the penguin population in Antarctica. So great, looking beautiful there. You can also identify other populations out there. And then a community there, you can see different organisms interacting with each other and with the environment. You can see others are hunting, others are being hunted, and so on and so forth. So that is a community. So in summary, we have a smallest living entity as an organism, and then a number of organisms form a population,